Let's be honest, men and women communicate differently, and the key to getting what you want from a woman isn't about being manipulative, it's about being intentional. You don't need tricks, you need understanding. Women respond to emotion, not pressure. You can't just say the right words, you have to feel the right energy. You want her to listen, then make her feel heard. You want her trust, then be trustworthy. Every single time. Most men go wrong by trying to convince a woman with logic, but here's the truth. When she feels emotionally safe with you, you'll unlock a level of loyalty and openness that logic could never touch. Be real with her. Speak with purpose. Don't ask for something, invite her to be part of something. Whether it's a conversation, a decision, or a vision for the future, make her feel valued in it. And above all, know this. Women are intuitive. They know when you're being authentic. And when they feel your genuine care and clarity, they'll give you what you need, not out of pressure, but out of connection. So if you want to get what you want from women 99% of the time, stop focusing on what you want and start focusing on who you're becoming. Because when you become the kind of man she wants to give to, you won't have to ask twice. Emotional safety is one of the most important yet often overlooked elements in building a deep and lasting connection with a woman. When a woman feels emotionally safe with you, she begins to open up in ways that may even surprise you. Her walls come down, her trust grows, and she becomes more willing to share her thoughts, feelings, and desires without fear of being judged, dismissed, or misunderstood. This kind of safety doesn't come from grand gestures or fancy words. It comes from the small, consistent actions that show her she can relax around you. It's in the way you listen to her, not just hearing the words she says, but tuning in to the feelings underneath. It's in the way you respond when she's vulnerable, emotional, or uncertain. If your reactions are calm, kind, and non-judgmental, she learns that you're a safe space for her truth. A woman who feels emotionally unsafe will protect herself. She'll shut down, go quiet, or even become defensive, not because she doesn't care, but because she's afraid to be fully seen. But when she senses that you respect her emotions, even when you don't fully understand them, she starts to open up like a flower leaning towards sunlight. She will begin to trust you with her truth. She'll start to give you her time, her affection, her energy, and most importantly, her loyalty. Creating emotional safety means staying grounded even when things get tense. It means not using her vulnerabilities against her later. It means showing her time and again that her emotions are not too much for you. It's letting her feel without trying to fix her. Women don't always want solutions. They want to feel seen, held, and emotionally understood. And when they feel that from you, they respond with deep gratitude, love, and yes, they start giving you what you need too. Emotional safety makes a woman feel like she's home. And when a woman feels safe at home, she brings peace, passion, and partnership like nothing else. That's why if you want to build something real and if you want to receive more of what you desire from her, it begins with this powerful, often silent foundation. Make her feel emotionally safe and you'll unlock her heart in ways words never could. Authenticity carries a kind of power that logic alone can never match, especially when it comes to relationships with women. You can present the most rational arguments, explain your thoughts with perfect clarity, and lay out every reason why something makes sense. But if she doesn't feel that you're being real with her, none of it will land. Women are emotionally intelligent by nature. They can sense when your words don't align with your energy. They pick up on hesitation, forced confidence, or hidden intentions almost instantly. And when that happens, they pull back, not because you said something wrong, but because something didn't feel right. Authenticity is about showing up as who you really are. It's not about trying to impress her or saying what you think she wants to hear. It's about speaking from your truth, your feelings, your intentions, your values. When a woman sees that you're being real with her, even if what you're saying isn't perfect or polished, she begins to trust you. That trust builds connection, and connection is the real bridge to influence and understanding in any relationship. Trying to win her over with logic might work in the short term, but it rarely touches her heart. If you want her to open up to you, respond to you, or give back to you emotionally and physically, you have to give her something real to hold on to. Be honest about what you feel. Be vulnerable enough to admit when you're uncertain. Speak from your experience, not from a script. That's what creates emotional intimacy, and emotional intimacy is what moves a woman to respond from her heart, not just her head. When you're authentic, you give her something solid to connect to. Your energy feels safe, grounded, and trustworthy. She doesn't feel like she has to figure you out or decode your motives. Instead, she can relax and be herself around you. That space of mutual openness becomes the foundation where mutual desires are naturally fulfilled, not out of obligation, but out of genuine connection. Authenticity invites her into something real, and when a woman feels that, she doesn't just listen, she leans in, she gives more, and she stays. Because what's real always feels better than what just makes sense. If there's one thing that builds a strong emotional bond with a woman, it's making her feel heard. Not just listened to, but truly heard. There's a big difference. Most people hear words, wait for their turn to respond, and then speak. But when a woman feels that you're really tuned into what she's saying, when she feels like her thoughts, feelings, and experiences matter to you, that's when she begins to open up and trust you on a much deeper level. Listening is not about fixing her problems or rushing to give advice. It's about being present. It's about putting down your phone, turning away from distractions, and showing her that in this moment she matters more than anything else. That kind of attention is rare, and when she receives it from you, she feels respected, valued, and safe. When a woman is sharing something emotional, she's not always looking for a solution, she's looking for connection. She wants to know you care about what she's experiencing. If you interrupt her, minimize her feelings, or try to make it better too quickly, she might shut down or feel like she's not being understood. But if you nod, ask gentle questions, and reflect her emotions back, like saying, "That sounds really overwhelming," or "I can see why you'd feel that way," you're showing empathy, and empathy is what creates emotional intimacy. Women often give more to those who take the time to understand them. When she feels heard, she becomes more receptive to your thoughts, needs, and desires. She feels safe enough to be herself around you, and the more she can be herself, the more she wants to give to you, not just emotionally, but mentally, physically, and spiritually. This simple act of listening, really listening, can transform a relationship. It removes tension, creates trust, and builds a bridge between your world and hers. If you want to get what you want from a woman, start by showing her that what she says matters. Because once she knows that her voice is safe with you, her heart will follow. And when you win a woman's heart, you'll find that most of what you desire from her flows naturally without pressure or force, just mutual understanding and care. There is a powerful difference between inviting and demanding, especially when it comes to getting what you want from a woman. Demanding creates pressure, resistance, and sometimes even resentment. It's a push, a forceful attempt to make something happen on your terms. But an invitation is magnetic. It pulls her in with choice, not control. And when a woman feels like she has a choice, she's far more likely to respond positively, openly. Inviting her means creating a space where she wants to engage, give, or participate, not because she feels obligated, but because she feels inspired. Women thrive in emotional environments that feel safe, warm, and free from pressure. When you demand something, even if your words are polite, the energy behind it can feel forceful, it puts her on edge, and can activate a defensive response. But when you invite her with openness, confidence, and clarity, you leave room for her to meet you where she feels most comfortable. This doesn't mean being passive or vague. You can still express what you want clearly, but do it in a way that honors her autonomy. Instead of saying, "You should do this," you might say, "I'd love for you to be part of this," or "What do you think about us trying this together?" That kind of language creates collaboration, not conflict. It shows her that her presence and participation are valued, not taken for granted. Invitations also show emotional maturity. They say, "I respect your freedom and I trust your ability to choose what's best for you." And that kind of respect is rare. It tells her that you're not trying to overpower her emotions, but rather walk alongside them. That's what builds trust. That's what makes her feel safe. When a woman feels like she's choosing to give you her time, her affection, her energy, she does it with her whole heart. That's when her love feels effortless and real. That's when you start receiving more than you asked for, because she feels appreciated, not pressured. So if you want more from a woman, more connection, more intimacy, more support, Don't try to control her into giving it. Invite her into something meaningful, something shared. And when the invitation feels right, she'll show up, not just out of willingness, but out of desire. Trust isn't built in one conversation or with one grand gesture. It's built over time through consistency. When a woman sees that you are who you say you are, day in and day out, her guard starts to drop. She begins to believe not just in your words, but in your character. And once that belief takes root, it creates a foundation for deeper emotional connection, respect, and long-term commitment. Consistency means showing up the same way, whether things are good or bad. It's being reliable when it's easy, and especially when it's not. When your words match your actions and your behavior stays grounded regardless of circumstances, you create a sense of emotional safety. That safety tells her, you can count on me. I'm not just here for the good times. I'm here, period. This kind of steadiness doesn't have to be loud or flashy. In fact, it's often the quiet, repeated actions that make the biggest difference. It's following through on promises, even the small ones. It's being honest, even when it's uncomfortable. It's showing respect whether she's watching or not. These moments add up, and they send a clear message. You're dependable, and your presence in her life is solid. Women by nature seek stability, especially emotional stability. When your moods swing wildly or your actions contradict your words, it creates confusion and emotional distance. But when you are consistent, she knows where she stands with you. She doesn't have to guess your intentions or worry if you'll disappear when things get hard. That kind of emotional reliability is rare, and it's one of the most attractive qualities you can offer. Consistency also builds desire over time. When a woman feels secure, she can relax, she can open up, she can give more of herself without fear of being hurt or abandoned. She'll stop holding back because she sees that you're not going anywhere. You've shown her, not just told her, that you're steady and serious. Being consistent doesn't mean being perfect. It means being real, honest, and reliable in a way that makes her feel safe. And when a woman feels that kind of trust, you won't have to keep asking for what you want, because she'll be giving it freely, knowing it's going to someone who's earned it. If you want a woman to say yes to you, whether it's your ideas, your presence, your love, or your long-term vision, you have to become the kind of man she wants to say yes to. That doesn't mean changing who you are to please her. It means growing into the strongest, most grounded, emotionally intelligent version of yourself. Women aren't drawn to perfection. They're drawn to presence, purpose, and authenticity. Becoming that kind of man starts with self-awareness. You have to know your values, your goals, and what you stand for. A woman feels safe around a man who knows who he is. She doesn't have to worry about where she stands, because your clarity sets the tone. When you're grounded, confident, and clear about your intentions, she senses stability, and that stability invites her in, not with pressure, but with peace. You also have to lead with emotional maturity. That means listening when she speaks, taking accountability when you fall short, and responding rather than reacting. It means being in control of your emotions without shutting them down. A woman doesn't need a man who never feels. She needs one who knows how to handle what he feels. That kind of emotional discipline builds trust, and trust turns into desire. Growth is attractive when a woman sees that you're committed to bettering yourself, not just for her, but for your own life. She sees potential, and not just your potential, but the potential of what you can build together. Whether you're just getting to know her or you've been in a relationship for years, she wants to say yes to a man who's willing to take her with him in a way that's loving, respectful, and real. Women say yes with their hearts when they feel understood, protected, and chosen, not just for their looks, but for who they are at their core. So if you want that yes, don't focus on the outcome. Focus on becoming the man who inspires it naturally. A man who leads with character, consistency, and care will always stand out. And when she recognizes that in you, she won't just say yes, she'll keep saying it again and again without you even needing to ask. Absolutely. Here's a powerful and emotionally grounded ending to your speech. How to get what you want from women 99% of the time. Something that leaves a lasting impact and ties together the message. So if you really want to get what you want from women 99% of the time, it's not about games, tricks, or chasing validation. It's about stepping into your strength as a man who leads with presence, not pressure. A man who listens with his heart, not just his ears. A man who builds trust with consistency, invites instead of demands, and shows up with authenticity every single time. Because when a woman feels emotionally safe, deeply heard, and truly valued, she wants to give. She wants to say yes. And when you become the kind of man she feels proud to choose, you won't have to chase anything. She'll give it freely, fully, and from the heart. Be that man and watch how everything starts to shift.